we have The Details, a play in one act by James Larsen. The characters, we have Hoffman. He is an elderly second-generation German-American. He is articulate with no apparent loss of cognitive faculties, but he's obviously failing physically. This will be played by Will Shaw. There he is. Jackson is an African-American man in his early 30s. He is rural North Carolina raised, bright, witty, and a little drunk, played by Jazz Turner. The setting, the action takes place in the downstairs of a tidy older home located in a residential neighborhood of a large Midwestern city. There is a door leading to the outside, an exit to the kitchen, a window, and a staircase leading to the bedroom. The room contains a couch, a coffee table, a floor lamp, a bureau, bookcase, and dining table and chairs. There is a liquor bottle and glass on the floor beside the couch, and a half-finished dinner plate on the table. At rise, the time is the present. It is just after midnight in the early spring. A single floor lamp illuminates the room. Hoffman lies asleep on the couch. He places a liquor bottle and glass from the floor at his feet onto the coffee table. He rises with some considerable effort and sighs loudly. He retrieves the hearing aids out of each ear, wipes each on his shirt and puts them into his pocket, crosses painfully over to the dining room table, where he stands and picks at some of a leftover meal.
I fixed the hinge on the wooden kitchen cabinet, that door under the sink. Used to bother you so much? Use that last of that tube of wood filler I had in the basement. My crowning achievement for the day. Oh, and you'll be pleased to know that I filled out my part of that VA form, sent it in, sent a copy to the attorney, yeah, just in case the United States Army I stumbled on all that picture framing stuff you had. Made me smile. Gathered it up, put it all in the Goodwill box. Oh, you're mad. Yeah, I know.
Hoffman gathers up the dinnerware and exits into the kitchen.
Hello? Hello, Mr. Hoffman? I saw you right there. Mr. Hoffman? Shit.
He closes the door, there's a short interlude, then he reopens the door and enters cautiously and stands just inside, peering about.
Mr. Hoffman, it's me, Bucky Jackson, from next door.
Jackson crosses over, picks up the glass from the coffee table, smells it, reacts visibly and sets it back.
Shit.
Jackson remains there, obviously unsure about what to do. He picks up the set of eyeglasses and tries them on, reacting visibly to their strength. Setting them back down, he begins a halting exploration of the room. At the staircase, he looks up for a few moments, then moves to the bureau and begins to examine the array of books.
Man, it's got some books.
He pulls out a book and opens it to the title page.
Death in the Afternoon. Ernest Hemingway, 1935.
Jackson flips through it for a moment, returns it, and as he reaches for another book, Hoffman enters from the kitchen. He sees Jackson, lets out a startled yelp and stumbles to the floor on his knees. Jackson starts towards him.
Oh shit. Hey, you okay? I knocked on your door.
Get out of my house. The police are coming.
No, you see, I locked myself out the house again, and Nina, she's my wife, she sleeps like a dead woman. You know, sometimes I think she's faking that shit, but your old lady, she ever do that? Like, you could pour a bucket of ice water on them and they wouldn't no more open their eyes. The whole...
I locked it. I did not forget to lock the door. I I did not forget.
Hoffman struggles to his feet, slapping away Jackson's attempt to help.
Mr. Hoffman, for real, your door was unlocked.
Stop mumbling.
I said your door was unlocked, but I knocked it first.
Damn it. Wait a minute.
Hoffman retrieves one of his hearing aids from his shirt pocket, drops it on the floor, fumbles after it, and finally inserts it, cursing all the while.
My Auntie Flora has a pair of those. She curses a blue streak at him.
Jackson moves quickly to the coffee table, retrieves Hoffman's glasses, and hands them to him.
Oh, it's you, let me think. It's Mr.
Jackson, you remember? Did we talk in your driveway last fall? I helped you get that bag of fertilizer out your car.
Fertilizer.
Yeah, and we talked a bit about fertilizer spreaders because I was planning to.
Yeah, I recall. Fertilizer spreaders, Mr. Jackson, like Andrew.
Yeah, or Shoeless Joe. Marvin Earl Jackson Jr. in the flesh. But, Daddy nicknamed me Bucky after Buck Leonard, his favorite baseball player. He swears up and down him and Buck Leonard had a beer together once. Maybe. Still, everybody calls me Bucky.
Yeah. Don't you have a friend whose home you could have broken into rather than mine?
Well, none of their lights were on and I was coded in a motherfucker. For real.
I don't appreciate your language.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's freezing ass cold out there, and like I was saying, your door was open.
So you saw that as an invitation to just wander in?
I knocked, for real.
Did I answer?
Well, I think you were back there, and maybe you didn't have your...
It's after midnight. I fell asleep on the couch. Is this an emergency? Are you bleeding or something? Is there something with your child?
No, nothing like that. Well, to tell you the truth, it's a little embarrassing. Like I was saying, I locked myself out of my house.
Well, I don't have a key to your house. I suggest you knock louder. Find a hotel. Sleep in your car.
Hoffman crosses to the floor lamp and reaches for the switch, pausing.
Just one phone call?
I don't have a phone.
You don't have a phone. A cell phone?
I had the wall phone disconnected Thursday. Never had a cell phone.
You don't have a phone? I never heard of nobody don't have a phone. What if you got to dial 911?
I'm afraid that ship has sailed.
What does that mean?
It means good night. Please set the door lock on your way out.
Jackson pauses, then crosses to the door, opens it, turns the lock.
You ever had one of those days that you want to completely erase from your memory? Like, whoosh, it's gone?
No, I don't.
Lucky you.
Memory is a great companion when it's needed, although it seems to have kind of a fragile shelf life.
Yeah. Yeah, my grandpa Elston back in California is struggling a bit, but he's over 90. Great storyteller though. The shit that man went through in his life.
Do you listen?
To his stories? Yeah, I do. Even the one about getting arrested by the sheriff on his wedding day, and I've heard that like 75,000 times. Powerful storyteller though. He and my grandmama, they were on their way.
Hoffman switches the lamp off, leaving the room in darkness with just the staircase and porch lights on.
Well, okay. Guess I'll be going then.
So how old did you say your grandfather was?
He's 91 now. And we had a big party a year ago. My grandmother, she died when I was just a boy, so it's been Grandpa Elston.
Hoffman turns the light back on. Then he crosses to the window, peering out.
There appears to be a light on upstairs.
Baby's room. We keep it on for her. Well, she's 4, but we still call her the baby. She started kindergarten this year.
Yeah, all right, maybe later. I wonder if I could ask you to please sit down, Mr. Jackson. started with me earlier.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. You thought I was a robber, right?
Well, we've had our share in the last few years.
Your house got robbed?
3 times. Well, burglarized, actually, not robbed.
You thought I was gonna burgle you, didn't you? Come on, Mr. Hoffman, admit it. You were thinking that I was gonna burgle you.
Who else sneaks into a man's house after midnight?
Yeah, and he's black too.
That has nothing to do with it. You saw me. I couldn't hear or see. I don't care what color a man is.
I'm just messing with you. Say, how many black folks sat on this couch before me? Am I the first?
Well, you and your wife, I'm sorry.
Nina.
Yeah, you and your wife, Nina. You own that house next door, am I correct?
Well, we will in 29 more years.
Oh, you like it? You like living there?
We like it fine.
No plans to move.
Being respectful, that's no concern of yours?
Oh, well, all right, I understand, but in an odd way, I mean, if you could just humor an old man, do you have plans to move away, move out of the neighborhood?
Sorry I barged in here like I did. I won't do it again.
But wait, now stop, please.
You saying there's a correct way to be a bigot?
No, I am not a... Wait, please. But the truth is, I do not want you to move. In fact, just the opposite.
Is this some kind of reverse psychology? Am I supposed to get all mad and say, you can't make me live in that house?
This all came up so fast. I mean, you came in here tonight, you just walked right in.
I know.
By God, I think maybe it was supposed to happen like this.
Supposed to?
Well, there's no other explanation. I mean, do you get locked out of your house every day? But today you did.
You're starting to sound like my crazy ass cousin Elizabeth. And she's always saying this or that was foretold in some kooky video she watched.
Yeah, well, just wait here, please. I need to go upstairs. Now, I'll only be a moment, and then I'll explain everything.
Hoffman heads towards the staircase, flicks on the lights, and ascends slowly.
No, wait, hold up.
No, wait for me. I'll just be a minute.
Wait for what? Hey! Shit. Hey, don't be forgetting I'm down here now.
Jackson pulls a pint bottle out of his pocket and takes a long drink, returning it. He lies down on the couch.
Man, I see why you fall asleep on this couch.
Jackson snuggles in for a few moments, then rises and crosses up to the bureau, examining a picture.
Hey, this you and your wife standing here out in the front yard? Man, it's an old picture. It didn't have no color in those days. You look like you thought you was slick. Hey, look here. And there used to be a great big tree right between your house and mine. Good looking tree. And a hedge too, look at that. Yeah, hedge look good. I like hedges. A hedge says, this side over here is mine, but you can come to visit anytime you want. Now, the fence don't say it. Yeah. Hey, how come you chopped that tree down? It just up and died or something? Seems like somebody should have planted another one, you know? How much a tree cost anyway? More than a couple $100, I bet. Especially if you were to get a big one.
Jackson picks up Hoffman's glass by the couch and pauses.
But suppose two people went in on the tree together, split the cost down the middle, and planted it right there on the property.
Jackson carries the glass up to the table. Hoffman enters carrying a worn leather valise and descends the stairs.
Yeah, you just call up the tree folks and say, yeah, haul me out one of them maple jobs with lots of leaves. Tree gotta have lots of leaves. Then you gotta be raking them up in the fall, but you know, that wouldn't bother none of us. Yeah. Of course, you know, soon as we rake the leaves up, some kids come by, jumping into the pile, acting a fool. Yeah, but we just shoo them down the street to somebody. Oh, hey! About time you... What's that? Going someplace?
Hoffman crosses to the dining table and sets the valise on it, opening it.
You and I need to talk.
Hoffman begins gently removing items one at a time.
My good shirts. Irene's favorite tie, not mine. Oh, this tie clip she bought me when we went to Washington, D.C. These trousers. Socks, underwear. Oh, and this bottle of brandy. Chrysler.
Why are you showing me all of this?
Hoffman begins returning the clothing to the valise.
Those are your funeral clothes, aren't they? That white shirt and your wife's favorite tie. That's right, isn't it? You already picked out your own funeral clothes.
Hoffman snaps the valise closed with the brandy left out. He crosses up to the cabinet and retrieves 2 glasses.
You'll find as you get on with years that the number of decisions that the world allows you to make on your own, as they say, start to dwindle to a precious few. I bought this bottle of brandy on my 87th birthday. That was no. Yes, it was. It was last week. I had a drink or two, and there's not a full bottle. Please, consider this an apology for my earlier ungracious behavior. Good. You know, when I gave the clerk my money for this bottle, he asked if he could look at my driver's license, see if I was old enough. Yeah, the clerk thought that was funny too.
Hoffman turns and crosses up to the bureau, sets his glass down, and removes one of the books.
You know, I read everything he ever wrote. You know, Hemingway. Every last word, 2 or 3 times. You ever heard of the writer, Ernest Hemingway?
I went to school, man.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Of course you did.
I have an associate's degree from Eastern Tech. Me and Nina, that's where we met. Yeah, Hemingway. Shit. Hey, Death in the Afternoon, man. 1935.
Well, once again, I'm sorry.
And the fish, catching that fish.
The Old Man in the Sea?
Yeah, good movie too. Spencer Tracy. Killed himself, didn't he? Hemingway?
Yeah, he did. I remember I was driving our old Buick when I heard that on the radio, what he'd done. I was so angry at him when I got home, I ripped a farewell to arms into shreds with my bare hands. Irene thought I was crazy.
What did she know?
Well, but you see, Hemingway knew that in the act of taking his own life, he was only disturbing his body. The truly important part, the genius, and the memory of that genius that would be immortal in these books. These books were already there. He had no more purpose. Back then I was too young to understand it.
He had no purpose.
But I'm not too young anymore.
Oh, do you think that I woke your wife up coming in here?
No, my Irene passed 5 months ago.
Shit. I didn't know, I'm
Cancer
sorry,
of the
man.
pancreas.
Man.
She had so much courage. My real fighter, my Irene. You would have liked her.
Yes, sir. I bet I would too.
63 years. We were married for 63 years, huh?
Well, I've been married 5 years. Some days it seems like 63.
Let me show you something. It's right here.
At the bureau, Hoffman opens the lower cabinet door. He retrieves the plaque and flicks a wall switch, illuminating a light over the table. He walks over and hands the plaque to Jackson.
Is that?
President Jimmy Carter.
Well, look at that. And you too, and Irene, right?
Irene was chairperson of the County Democratic Party.
Well, that's important. Yes, sir. Chairperson.
Yeah, there were many, many meetings held right here at this table. Irene would always sit there. That's her chair. Everybody knew it was her chair too, by God.
Nina and I had passes to see President Obama speak one time, but we never did go. I don't remember what.
Scrabble. We played Scrabble here. Oh, and bridge. Yes, sir, bridge with the Petersons every week, rain or shine. Oh, and dinner. Oh, how she could. Well, this was my chair here. I used to sneak up behind her and mwah!
Hoffman pauses behind Irene's chair, places his hands on her shoulders, and then kisses the top of her head. He wipes away tears and walks the plaque back down to the bureau, returning it. He sighs deeply and rubs his face.
You've been talking to somebody?
About what?
Shit, man.
Well, what is there to talk about? She had cancer and she died. Talking won't change that.
Where your kids at?
We did not have children, and quite honestly, I do not need your pity.
Look here. Yeah, my daddy used to say, when a mule get old, you get your rifle and you put him down because he's a mule. But when a man get old, you lift him up because he's a man.
That's what I need. Cotton farm wisdom from a colored man who wasn't even born when I had my first hernia operation.
Colored man!
Black man. I'm sorry. I meant to say black man. I'm not a...
It's just, no, it's gay. A colored man. My granddaddy Elston, he still calls himself a colored man. You believe that shit? Yeah, he's kind of stuck in his ways, though.
I think you're pathetically too young to have any idea what it's like to grow old.
Do I look like a child to you?
Oh, Metropolo, Lipitor, Eliquis, Lisinopril.
Yeah, that last one. All the men in our family have high blood pressure. My daddy and my Uncle Louie, they both had heart attacks. So, you're all done with doctors, huh?
There's no purpose, can't you see that?
Nothing wrong with my eyes. You planning on swallowing all those pills you just recited to me?
No, you don't. You don't have any idea.
What's it got to do with me? Why don't you just go on and be done with it?
Because I need you. I need you, Mr. Jackson, to help me.
I am not helping you off yourself, man.
No, not that way. Now listen to me, please.
Nah, man. If you're gonna be crazy, you go on, be crazy by your damn self. Cops love to burst in and see you on the floor dead and my black ass standing over looking at you.
Oh, please.
Please.
Please. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Now, tell me, how do you spend your day?
Say what?
Well, what do you do all the time? How do you pass the time?
I install cable TV and internet service.
Internet. You don't say.
People gotta have it. You having problems?
No, does installing internet service seem meaningful to you?
Does it seem meaningful? What kind of question is, does it seem meaningful? It don't seem nothing, it's just what I do.
You don't think about it?
No, I don't think about it. I just do it. It's honest work, pays good.
Well, what if you decided to think about it? I mean, do you think your life would seem meaningful?
What are you, some psychiatrist or something?
Oh, just humor me for a moment. Now think what your life is all about. Does it have meaning? Do you have a reason for living?
Think about it.
Just for a moment.
I'm done.
Well,
Yes.
yes, what?
My baby girl and my wife. And my daddy and my mama down south.
They give you life meaning.
My daddy and my mama gave me life to begin with, so yeah. And my family is why I work hard. I don't know. I never thought about the whys and the what fors. The man just does, what he does, that's all.
What about God?
God?
Do you believe there's a God?
You dipping a mighty strong here, aren't you?
I beg your pardon.
Well, that's none of your concern about my religion.
But you have religion.
Everybody has religion. Doesn't mean you have to go to church every Sunday. I figure a man can believe in God any which way he wants. I don't imagine God cares if you miss church now and again or if you miss semi-regular.
Well, what if a man stops believing in God at all?
Then he's a fool. You lost your faith. That's it, isn't it? This fussing about how life has no more purpose, all on account of you lost your faith.
I wish it were only just that.
Look, everybody wanders from the path sometimes. You think he don't know that?
The path?
Yeah, or whatever, doing right, living right. How do I know what you believe, man?
Well, I'll tell you what I believe. I believe that a man's life must account for something, that it has to be more than random activity that adds up to a big fat zero. That once you've lived for 8 decades, there is something to show for it. And that there's something in the world that wasn't there many years ago, and the world has you to thank for it. Hemingway once wrote something like, "Everybody's life ends the same way. It is only the details of how we live and how we die that distinguishes one man from another."
The details of how we live.
Well, if nothing survives you when you're gone, your life has no meaning. You're indistinguishable from a dead tree.
You sure you aren't being a little hard on yourself? You and Irene had a fine life. You said so. Playing games over there at that table and having important meetings and being married for 63 years and such. That's not nothing, man. All that survives you.
Man, that's why you're here.
Oh, you want to adopt me?
He moves up to the bureau and from the inside retrieves 2 large photo scrapbooks. He brings them back to the table.
Scrapbooks.
There. Now you see at the top of every page there's a date, see? June 1959. And see, it says here, new porch swing. And over here is this one, Biederman's new puppy. You see? These are for you.
Mr. Hoffman, what do I want with these?
I'm giving them to you. They're yours now. We can sit right down here at this table right now or tomorrow if you prefer, and I'll explain each photograph to you.
Why would you do that?
Can't you see?
You keep asking me if I can see. If there's something blurry around here, it's coming from you, not me.
I'm going to die.
You don't have to today.
Yes, I do. I thought it through.
You got some disease you're not talking about?
I'm being nibbled to death. I have to help it along.
You're quitting.
I'm being sensible.
No, you're quitting. Pure and simple. And I'm not arguing with you, understand? You want to quit? Go ahead. But don't go flowering it up none to make everybody feel better about it.
Purpose. Humans are rational beings who exist to pursue some end. to select from choices that lead you, that call you forward. Maybe it's producing a great literary work, or maybe it's something as elemental as parenting a child, caring for something you love deeply. You get up in the morning and the path is there in front of you. Right there.
Yeah, my daddy is 71 years old.
This is not about your daddy.
And he plants 200 acres every year. Had him a heart attack 5 years ago, too.
Bastard was right. It's only the details that count.
Hoffman walks up to the bureau, looks at the picture of Irene and him, then turns it face down. He does not turn around.
Mr. Jackson, can you make your life count for something greater than yourself?
I haven't given it much thought.
Well, say you'll do this for me. One promise, one small favor.
Now we're getting to it. What small favor?
Remember.
Remember what?
Remember.
Yeah, I got that part. Remember what?
Me! I want you to remember me.
I thought that's what this was. What for?
God's sake, you ignorant white.
Easy now. What's the matter with you?
You were laughing at me.
Well, remember? That was kind of funny.
Funny? The memory of a dying man, his last...
Shit!
I never beg your pardon.
You're not dying. There, you're just old, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
Wait until it's your turn.
Yo, my daddy likes to say, getting out the bed is easy. Putting on your boots is hard.
Yeah, well, get your boots on my couch.
Sometimes daddy's an ornery old coot, but he got some sense.
I want an answer to my question.
Yeah, this remember me shit.
To remember that a very old man and his wife once lived here. Lived in this house for 62 years.
62 years! In this one little old house.
62. And now the time has come for him to die. And there is not a soul left around here who even knows they existed.
Where'd they go?
Where'd they go?
All those folks that used to know you lived here for 62 years. Suppose they sold while the selling was good, huh?
Hoffman turns and walks to the window, pulling the curtain back and staring out.
You have something to say to me?
Where'd everybody go? Like neighbors, man.
Died?
Your ass.
Some of them died. A lot of them died. Look, I think you should leave. I apologize for the inconvenience. I thought, just please, leave me alone.
I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry.
I am not a bigot.
That's all right.
I never tried to sell this house, never.
That's all right, too.
And I won't be made fun of either.
You getting kind of surly. No wonder all your friends moved away. Hey, where are you going?
I'm going to my room. Leave me to my own business.
Business? What kind of business?
I'm tired.
Well, you're down here. Wait a minute. You're down here talking about dying in your funeral shirt? Some kind of, you want me to remember you thing and all that kind of shit? And now just like that, you're going to hustle me on my way.
You can let yourself out.
I ain't.
I should never have involved you. I mean, it was just an impulsive idea, so please, just go home.
Nah, you can't just...
Please, you were never here. You weren't involved.
Wait a minute. Why don't we try and...
Go home.
No.
Go back to your home. Go back to your wife and your little child.
No. I can't. I can't go home. You ever wonder who invented marriage? I got a full paycheck who says it's a woman. You know, you would never see no dude sitting around saying, you know, fellas, kind of tired of fucking all these different women. Maybe we should invent marriage. It was a woman, all right.
Please.
A woman lawyer.
Oh, great Christ, will you leave my house?
She changed the locks.
What? What did you say?
I said she changed the locks on the doors while I was at work. Left the suitcase full of my shit on the porch.
Then she's not asleep. So you coming in here tonight just to use the phone?
I've been ringing her from my cell for hours. I thought if she saw a different caller ID, she'd answer.
So why did you come in here?
Your light was on.
No.
It damn sure was.
I mean, no, that's not why you came in here.
No, you're right. I came here so I could walk around the neighborhood saying, hey, remember that slick old dude who used to live over there?
No, we both know why.
Shit. Okay. I come in here to see if I could flop on your couch for the rest of...
Go sit down.
You telling me? You asking me or telling me?
Please.
When I was little and I fucked up, my mama used to make me sit down and I'm gonna lose them. I'm gonna lose them both, my two girls.
It'll be all right. Don't worry.
I don't know what to do. This is all fucked up.
What was it you did?
Such a goddamn... What I did?
Why, just calm down now.
First thing you think is my fault.
You're the one who got locked out. Is your wife having an affair with the locksmith?
Look, I could get this shit from her mother and her sister. Both her sisters. She gets so mad, sometimes. It's like she's standing right there, begging for me to beat on her, hollering and screaming. She gets to beating on me.
My Irene used to throw her shoe at me. Whip that thing off and...
She ever pop you?
She always wins.
On purpose?
Well, it was something she needed to do.
Were you mean to her?
I didn't think so at the time.
You got a bit of a streak in you. What do they want, man? I don't beat on her. I don't mess around with other women.
Never?
Never. I mean, looking isn't touching and dreaming isn't doing.
I had an affair.
For real?
Oh, many years ago.
Well, I figured that.
What do you mean?
No. Go on. Tell me about it.
What do you mean I figured that?
I just, you know that it was a long time
You
ago.
think I'm no longer capable?
Man, don't get all riled up. You don't want to talk about how your body parts are failing.
I am more than capable. Well, you just have to take my word for it.
That's cool. That's cool.
Jackson turns and wanders up to the bureau. He lifts the picture.
Were you going out on Irene when they took this picture?
What? Oh, no. I didn't go out on her. I just had a very brief affair, I said. Very brief.
She find out about it?
I think so. Look, I'm sorry.
You think so? Shit. If my woman ever heard about me going out on her, she wouldn't be keeping it a secret from me.
And how do you know that?
You don't know my woman.
But you do.
Hell yeah, I know her. Been knowing her 7 years.
Then tell me why she locked you out of the house. Let me tell you why.
You gonna tell me why my woman gonna go and lock me out of my house?
Listen carefully.
I'm nothing but ears.
Women are different from men.
Oh, I can't wait to tell those dudes down at work. They gonna shit when they find that out.
I'm not sure you heard me.
Women are different.
Not just on the outside.
I'm 34 years old, man, and I've been married 5 years.
To finally understand that, it took me over half a century of marriage and now, Lord knows how many nights sleeping on that couch. Look, listen, I don't know your lovely wife, and I don't want to pretend to, so stop me if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
She will prefer to trust her inner feelings in spite of what you believe to be clear evidence to the contrary.
Do you know how many millions of perfectly fine houses didn't feel right before we bought that one? What's wrong with it? I don't know. There's just something.
Well, now listen. You see her as a friend, a lover, and a fellow parent. She sees you the same way, but she adds, now listen, someone who understands me.
Damn. What's that mean, man? What's that mean? Well, she talks to me. I'm not deaf. I know what she's talking about.
Hearing the words does not mean you understand.
Now you sound like she does.
But it's the truth. Now listen to me. When that time comes, when you are absolutely certain that now you finally understand the woman, it is at that very moment when you are the most ignorant.
You ever watch TV reruns of Kung Fu?
There are none so deaf as those who will not hear.
Nah, man, I hear you. It's more complicated than even that.
The brief affair I mentioned earlier?
The one you kept a secret from your wife kept a secret from you?
We met at the German-American club. Her husband had been killed in the Korean War, but she would attend for the dancing. Well, she was a very fine dancer, and I was also a fine dancer.
German-American club. What you do, like German, like Oompa dancing?
Folk dancing, yes. Irene and I were well known, even out of the city. During the summer, our group would travel to dance festivals and fairs all over the Midwest. Yeah, we were very good back then. Always a big crowd.
I bet you were, too. Yeah, you gotta love those brothers liking that shit. But, I saw one of them Oompa dancers over at the State Fair, man, they blew me away.
There was a weekend we traveled for a festival to Chicago. It was during a bad time for Rena and me. We were quarreling almost daily, a lot of tears, a lot of angry words. She didn't want to go to Chicago. She said it was because her mother was ill. I recall slamming the door on my way out. So I went off to Chicago by myself. Never done that before.
Now we're getting to the good part.
I've never told this to anybody.
For real? I'm sorry, man. Go on in.
Now I forget.
You were in Chicago, Irene's mom was sick.
Oh, yeah, it was all on the up and up. I don't want you to think that I had a plan or anything. It's not like that at all. No. After the festival, we all had dinner at this small Serbian restaurant somewhere just off of State Street. I don't think it's there anymore. My dance partner, she was a widow who never remarried. I think she still missed her husband. Quite lovely in a way, huh?
Mr. Hoffman and the widow lady.
Delicate, as if at any moment she would just crumble like a piece of fine Dresden. when she smiled, there seemed to be a tear right here, hiding in the corner.
She sounds like a fine lady.
Oh, yes, she was indeed. Well, back at the hotel, we went dancing in the ballroom till well after midnight. It was a wonderful orchestra. Wonderful. Then we had a nightcap at the bar, and we talked on and on. There was nothing that we both didn't feel absolutely free to, it was as though the fates had brought us together for that one night so that we could give something to each other that we both needed desperately. I listened, and she listened. It was nearly 3 in the morning when we finally said goodnight at the elevators.
And then what? What are you talking about? Good night.
Well, the next morning, we both just pretended that it didn't happen.
It? What it are you talking about? Okay, yeah, that's cool. Y'all just sort of let it happen and then let it be.
I'm not proud of myself, you understand, but to be completely honest, I have no regrets either.
I can dig that. You never told Irene about your affair?
I don't know how, but I think she knew.
Yeah, one of the Oompa boys snitched on y'all.
I don't know, but she never brought it up. It was as if it was a secret that we shared together and at the same time we kept from each other.
You know, I never met a man like you in all my life.
Every man, every woman is entitled to make mistakes. That's what makes us human. Fallibility. Fallibility. You must remember. Always. You must remember that, huh?
When you got back from Chicago, you and Irene was cool?
Well, if you mean, did we make up and never quarrel again? No. Quarreled like cats and dogs our entire marriage, but there was something about me sharing that pain. I had never heard myself say out loud to another person how much I loved Irene. I think a man needs to say that. I think he does.
I love my Nina. Do you believe that?
Why did she lock you out? It's not because she had a feeling.
Larsen fiddles with the photos on the bureau, taking one in his hands and then shows it.
Who are all these people standing with you here? They your kin?
Colleagues.
Colleagues. Where'd you work?
I was circulation manager at the Sun Herald for 27 years.
The Sun Herald. Woo-wee. That's why you got all these books. Newspaper man.
Yeah, more like chief paper boy. You're avoiding my question.
Didn't have no brothers at the newspaper? Or were they downstairs sweeping up? Hey, maybe I should get the Sun Herald delivered. Think so?
The print edition shut down many years ago. I think you're a little late.
No home delivery?
People want their news quickly. They want everything quickly.
Internet. Uh-huh. Well, I'm checking my news feed like, 10 times a day. You know, they talk about fake.
Why did she lock you out?
She's up there now, both of them.
Jackson turns back, retrieves the pint bottle from his pocket. He displays it in his hand to Hoffman and sets it on the windowsill. He crosses to the couch and flops face down.
How long?
Forever.
I'm sure you've tried.
I'm not hooked, man. I'm not an alcoholic. I've never been drunk on the job, and I've never had a DUI, and I never hit my wife. I am just a man who likes a drink at the end of the day.
Sounds reasonable to me. What are you leaving out?
Nothing. One night, when the baby was still in the crib, Sarah was at some nurse meeting at the hospital. Somehow the baby climbed out the crib, banged her head. Sarah got home. The baby was still there on the floor crying, and you know, there was some blood, just a little.
You? Where were you?
Asleep in front of the TV.
Asleep? Or passed out? So, you made a promise after that incident, And you broke it. Maybe more than once. Now she's had enough?
Yesterday after work, I went to the tavern with some guys at work. You know, it was like a birthday celebration, and I forgot I was supposed to be home when the sitter dropped her off.
Everybody okay?
Yeah. Well, sitter was pissed. What are you looking at?
My father once said to me, after a calamity, if the man does not stop drinking, the man is a drunk.
You think I'm a drunk?
I don't even know you. What does it matter to me?
It matters because we live next door to one another. You want to live next door to a drunk?
I don't want to live at all.
Right.
Cards on the table. Why did you come here tonight?
Why would I come over here if I hadn't been locked out of my house?
Well, no reason I can think of. And then another man might have gone to a hotel.
I told you, I seen your light on.
Yes, you told me that.
So?
Why did you come here?
For real, yours was the only house with the lights on. You know, I'm not somebody who believes in weird signs like my cousin Elizabeth, but I just thought maybe the light, I should have just left you be.
Hoffman walks over to the window and picks up the liquor flask. He holds it up to his face closely, examining the contents, then removing the cap, opens the door and pours out the remainder. He replaces the flask on the window.
Another saying my father had was, pride goeth before the fall.
Your daddy and my daddy could be their own advice column.
The sin is not being drunk, young man. The sin is knowing and refusing to change.
Hoffman crosses over to the staircase and starts up slowly.
Hey, hold up. Hey, motherfucker, I said hold up.
Or what?
Can you please come back down, please?
The bathroom is on the second.
Hey, sorry, man. You go ahead. Go right ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, the midnight stroll.
Your daddy?
Everybody's daddy. Don't delete. Yeah, I want to tell you that I'm next door in an elderly couple's house. Yeah, he was up and he sort of invited me in. Yeah, we've been talking. Yeah, he's smart, you know. Married something like 60 years. Yeah, and like I say, you know, we've been talking about all kinds of shit. Like being married and all. His wife, she died though. Like not too long ago. Irene. Yeah. Her name was Irene. Yeah, he still tore up, you know. It's like he hasn't got an idea about what to do with himself anymore. And so he's talking crazy, you know. You remember that time You told me about your Uncle James. Like that. He's grieving, you know, but damn, I can understand why. Shit.
Hoffman starts back down the stairs. Jackson sees him and begins towards him, but Hoffman motions for Jackson to back up to the far side of the room, which he does. He descends the stairs and stands at the landing.
I'm sorry for...
Is your child safe in the house?
Yeah, sure she is. You know, I would never do anything.
And your wife?
I didn't hit her. I swear I pushed her away from me and she bumped her head on the cabinet. She got a lump, but she said she's okay.
And that was after the tavern yesterday when you were supposed to be watching your child. What are you going to do?
Change.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Go back to the meetings at the church, I guess.
Oh, they help?
You know, most of them dudes are... Nina liked it when I went. You think I should?
It makes no difference what I think.
You were married for 100 years?
You see that porch light over there? Marv and Lenore Peterson used to live in that house. Nice couple, good bridge players. Lenore had the manic depression, huh? Oh, that woman sometimes. She emptied their bank account twice to start some kind of a business or other. Selling soap was one. Now, out there, that tutor next door, Harold and Patricia Murphy. Harold, it turns out, was spending afternoons with Janet Schultz, who lived there. The one story with the street light. And they weren't just talking, if you know what I mean.
I get it. Everybody has problems.
Both Harold and Mark, Mary died some years ago.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
And at their deaths, Mary was still married to Lenore and Harold was still married to Patricia. And you know why?
You're gonna tell me.
Because our generation fought for marriages.
You think I'm giving up? Is that what you think?
Do you know that Hemingway wrote the last page of Farewell to Arms 39 times before he was satisfied? Shrugging your shoulders and dragging yourself to a church meeting is not doing something and will yield the predictable result.
So what do I do, Mr. Got All the Answers man?
I don't know. What happens going forward needs to come from the both of you. She just played the first hand this evening, laid her cards face up. It was a courageous play. And effective. You got your attention.
Sure she did that.
Look, I don't think a man and a woman ever really understand one another, but they can decide to accommodate each other. Love is simply the wanting to accommodate each other. The one. Huh?
I don't know. Look here. It took you all those years to figure that out.
And you want to drink more than you want to accommodate her needs.
That's bullshit.
Is it? Maybe it is. I don't know. We just met.
I want her to be happy. I want us both to be happy.
And now she's locked you out of the house, and neither one of you is happy.
Well, I had my last drink. I make you that promise. You don't believe me.
It doesn't matter what I believe.
Stop saying that. Yes, it does.
All right, this is what I believe. You will forever find your clothing out on that stoop until you recognize that marriage is not about fixing bad habits, huh? Marriage, Mr. Jackson, is about cultivating such a deep understanding of one another that the bad habits never get a foothold. Understanding, huh? Understanding that leads to accommodating one another because, young man, that is the only pathway forward together.
How long until I understand her like that?
No answer for that.
Ballpark? I mean, if you're really working on it?
Irene and I were still working on it when she passed. There's no getting there. There's no arrival. There's only a rocky path forward. But over a lifetime, a man can take no more magnificent and fulfilling journey.
Magnificent and fulfilling journey. Hemingway got nothing on you, man.
Hoffman crosses around to the dining table and reaches into the valise, withdrawing a handgun.
I bought this just 2 days ago.
Hey, be careful with that shit.
To protect my family. That's what the salesman said. When I bought it, with this, he said, I won't ever have to worry again. With a single, simple purchase, my troubles are over. Imagine that.
You bought a gun.
That I did, as you can see. I fired a rifle in basic training a long time ago. That's been about the extent.
That loaded? You got the safety on?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Can you just set it down real gentle on the table, please? Just real gentle. So it's not pills. You're gonna get that gun there. My mama's cousin done that. Shotgun. Yeah. Mama said he was crazy anyway.
Mama was probably right.
I maybe should have come visiting before. Now I wish I had done that. I started to one day when I was out fixing something on your porch. I don't know why you know that Mexican family across the street with the red pickup? Sanchez is their name. Day we moved in, Lupe brought us over a whole plate full of enchiladas.
And what in Sam Hill do enchiladas have to do with anything?
They were good enchiladas.
Listen to me. Now, you might not know it now, but it was. This street was alive with neighbors, with people, good, honest people who cut their lawns and trimmed their hedges and sat on the porches at night just to feel a part of one another. People who reached out to help other people, who were too afraid to ask for help. The smell of outdoor barbecues, the Schultz family, the Carlisle family, the Lees. He was Chinese, but that was okay. You see? I mean, I could just walk up and down this whole street and tell you stories about every one of these homes, every person in them, good, solid, hard-working people that cared about.
It must have been a fine place to live.
It isn't supposed to happen this way. Those elms, those beautiful elms that used to be all up and down this street. One day you turn around and the disease just withers them. Haul them away in trucks. Like they were never there. Come and stick a locust sapling in the ground like those elms were never there.
Change isn't disease, man. Change just happens. Folks get old, ideas get old.
Yeah, well, I'm ready for them to haul me away too.
You're not a dead tree.
And you're no doctor, and I don't need your advice. Barge into my home in the middle of the night and then presume to tell me how to live.
Our generation fought for our marriages. You told me that. Was that just bullshit? You're still on that magnificent and fulfilling journey, and you're flat out giving up.
That's my prerogative, and it's none of your business.
Look here. Seems like you got your mind pretty well set on that. Yeah. So, I guess I'll be going on out of here. Sleep in the car, let you get to it. Yeah. Okay. That shit about me remembering you, it isn't much out of man's whole life, but I ain't forgetting this night anytime soon. Hey! I understand.
Jackson goes out, closing the door. Hoffman stares at the door for a few beats, then turns and starting up the stairs. He stops suddenly and returns back down, picking up the pistol off the dining table. He looks at it in his hand for a moment, then starts for the stairway.
I don't understand neither. Shit, man, goddamn. This whole night, you're telling me how you are so sick and you just gonna take that gun and help things along, and all the time, that isn't even it. You're no sicker than anybody else. You got no disease. Look here, you're just afraid. You're all hunkered down in this house because you're afraid to be the neighbor you once were. And the worst part, it can't never be fixed because you've been sitting here pining for a world that's gone away, and you're terrified of the one taking its place.
That is absolutely not.
It's not? Now, I know that Irene was sick, but we've been living next door for more than a year, and you never came calling. Not once. Luis and Lupe Sanchez did. So did Sarah Juliana Thomas, who live in that red brick on the other side. They're black folks. Nice couple, by the way. School teachers, both of them.
So, because I didn't show up at your door with a casserole, suddenly at best I'm antisocial and at worst I'm a racist.
No. I think it's just a part of who you are, man. And it's probably why you're so dead bent on using that gun.
Hoffman looks at the pistol, steps down to the bottom of the staircase and aims it at Jackson, who backs away using the open door for cover.
You mean use it on the man who broke into my house in the middle of the night? If I'm now the neighborhood racist, why don't I pull this trigger?
Look here. Just be cool. I didn't say you were anything. I said being scared of change is a part of who you are, and you just don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear it because it's a lie. Because you are a liar.
Like what you said about me. Remember that? Now it's you. You want to hold on to your old ways more than you want to fight for the sort of closing to your marriage that Irene would want.
What do you know about my marriage? You don't know anything.
Not saying I do, but can you set the gun down, please? Mr. Hoffman, please?
Why? So you can continue to call me hateful names and disparage my marriage? Where in hell did you get off?
Hoffman moves closer, waving the pistol in front of him. Jackson quickly closes the door with himself on the outside. Hoffman stops, waits and listens for a moment. He walks over and sits at the table and lays the pistol down. He looks up to the ceiling and makes a palms-up gesture of uncertainty. He rises, walks back to the bureau and puts the pistol in the drawer, crosses down near the couch.
Are you out there?
Yes.
I'd like you to come back inside.
Where's the gun?
I put it on the bureau drawer.
You done waving it at me? That's good. That gun you've been waving around, Why did you bring it down here in the first place? Why not just leave it upstairs?
Now who's being the psychiatrist,
Nina and I have our important papers in a heavy lockbox under the bed. It has a combination, so it's childproof. We could get a trigger lock too.
Well, we can talk about that.
You know those people you and Irene used to play cards with?
Petersons?
Yeah, the Petersons. When there's a tragedy and you don't have family nearby, it's neighbors like the Petersons who come over and fill in. Maybe share a drink or have you by for dinner. They don't let you feel lonesome, you know what I'm saying?
Move to Florida.
Well, me and Nina didn't move to Florida. Neither did the Sanchez's or the Thomases.
Our mailman, Mr. Williams, he was a true gentleman. A black man, you know. Shared iced tea with him. He and I did right there on the porch. Told me about his children, even showed me pictures. Tired a few years back, I think, that there's a white lady brings the mail now, I don't know her.
You're open-minded because over the course of 62 years, you had a glass of iced tea with the black mailman?
Well, hardly. It just came to mind, that's all. The point that I'm trying to make...
The point I'm trying to make is maybe at least a part of the answer to your pain is living right here on this block.
I watched the only person I ever loved die in front of me. I could do nothing. 63 years I kept her safe. Me! And then when it finally counted for something, I could do no more than hold her hand. Do you think enchiladas from Mrs. Sanchez would have helped then?
Jackson walks over to where the police sits near the stairway. He opens it and withdraws the necktie and displays it.
Irene, she liked this tie. And you don't, right?
What's your point?
You think she's watching you, don't you? Seeing that you dress proper for your funeral.
And you know for a fact that she's not.
No, I don't. But I do know that she's not up there saying, well, I sure wish my husband, who I love so dearly, would go on and shoot himself in the head. What are you gonna do? Shooting yourself is the opposite of doing something.
Hoffman rises and walks slowly over to the window and looks out.
2 or 3 years after we moved in, Irene said that she would like another shade tree closer to the front porch. Well, the city had planted elms all up and down the street out on the parkways, so I decided on a silver maple and put it right there.
You got a picture sitting yonder on the bureau?
That maple took a lightning hit about 3 years ago, never recovered. Nothing but an empty space now. You have an opinion?
Oh, yes, sir. Well, I think that Irene would be honored. I truly do. A maple tree for sure, though. Yeah, I bet Luis Sanchez let us borrow his pickup. You got a good show?
I have 5 shovels. You got a good back?
Well, I was brought up on a farm. I can hold my own.
Well, that remains to be seen.
Hoffman crosses slowly to the stairs, picks up the valise and starts up.
We friends now?
Oh, we don't even know each other.
Yeah, but you're gonna like me. Say,
What is it?
you wanna go halfsies on that tree?
Well, we can talk about that in the morning.
Say, used to be when one of our dogs or hamsters or some such died, my daddy would say, the end of one life makes room for the beginning of another life.
Hoffman sets the valise down and steps down the stairs to the bureau, pulls out a book, and turns to a bookmarked page.
And this Papa said, "There is no lonelier man in death than the man who has lived many years with a good wife and then outlived her. If two people love each other, there can be no happy end to it." Love in the Afternoon, 1935.
Hey, we got a treated plant. Remember that now.
Bathrooms upstairs at the end of the hall. Grab a towel from the closet.
I gotta collect my stuff neatly left on the stoop.
Jackson watches Hoffman disappear upstairs and moves to the bureau, picks the pistol from the drawer, looks about, slides it under the couch, and exits. Hoffman reappears at the top of the staircase, now in a bathrobe. Jackson, suitcase in hand, re-enters. He crosses down to the foot of the staircase.
Forget something?
When I was 12 years old, my mother passed away from the influenza. I remember crying inconsolably at her funeral. And at one point, my father wrapped his arm around my shoulder and drew me close to him. And to this day, I can still feel and smell that big wool overcoat. And my father's strong arm pulling me to him as I stood there sobbing.
The man knew what his boy needed.
And then after a few short seconds, he let go of me, looked me at the eye, and said, "Knock it off now."
Well, you know.
Tomorrow is Saturday. We'll start on a tree project. Perhaps your wife will have some thoughts on the matter, huh? That's a good place to begin.
Hoffman turns and exits.
Yeah. Good night to you too.
Jackson moves to the bureau and, taking the bottle of brandy, pours himself a healthy glassful. As he's taking a drink, he returns more and more back to the bottle until finally, throwing it down just a small remaining swallow, he crosses to the couch and lies stretched out. Lights down, end of play.
A small but mighty cast. Well, anyway, we invited all of you here today so you could help us select two plays that we're going to eventually produce, and not very long from now either. So we're interested in getting your feedback on this particular play, because whatever you say is going to influence our decisions on that count. So anyway, here are the details about the details. We're going to conduct a discussion, and we ask that you be very respectful, because while the playwright isn't here, he's going to be watching this tape. So we want you to be respectful and constructive and all that kind of thing. We want you to be honest too. And we have a prescribed list of questions that we use. So why don't we just get started? In a brief statement, and I mean brief, what is your first reaction to the play and to what you just saw? Yes?
It's very believable. The dialogue's great. It flows naturally from one point to the next, and there seem to be no dead spots. It all follows through very nicely. Quite impressed with that.
Anybody else care to comment? Yes?
Yeah, I thought it was a really interesting relationship dynamic that we got to see evolve rather quickly, but as David was saying, like, in a believable way.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I thought the characters were very believable and well done.
Any other comments?
I think quite obviously it was written for these two actors.
It does feel like that, doesn't it? Yeah. We've touched on some of these things. Now, considering the premise of the play, what did you find attractive about the premise?
I enjoy shaking up the view of the older man. Those being of that vintage myself, I mean, and being corrected by my daughter constantly about what is the correct word and so forth, I thought that was very real.
Yes.
I think it comes at this relationship from a different perspective, because like I was expecting, you know, the old man who's trying to prove the entire time that he's not a racist, and it's not that story at all. And I think that's the interesting thing to me, is that it comes at this relationship from a different angle.
Not obvious. Anybody else care to comment on the premise?
I
Yes.
just think it was good discussion. I agree with Phil just said. I just think it was just really nice watching the story and watching it unfold, like they were just kind of meant to meet each other, you know?
I really like the use of the house next door too, and going over to watch that. I thought that was a really interesting element. Now, how about the characters and the character development? What did you observe about that? Yes.
I felt like I got to know all 4 of the characters in the play, and we only saw 2 of them, but we knew all about their lives as well. It was just amazing. I thought it was amazing writing.
Mm-hmm. Lots of detail.
Lots of detail.
Anybody else? Anything else about the characters? I love that they were not really stereotypical or predictable in any way. I was always surprised about what came out of their mouths, even though it fit. Yes.
I think we could almost regard the neighborhood that we're describing as another character. And we got a very good picture of where it was and what it was like and what it looked like, and it was very much present, and I found myself forming mental pictures of it without, just from the dialogue between the 2 people. It's very skillful to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's really interesting that the neighborhood and the house next door are kind of characters in a way.
I have a question. I didn't quite catch what happened at the very end. Did you say you opened the bottle and took another drink?
He's winding down, taking a drink, and then at the very end sets it down.
So he doesn't.
So he takes a little bit, then doesn't finish it, and then falls asleep.
No, I apologize. I've been standing here with my one back, to the 2 of you, and I wonder if you'd care to comment on what you felt as you were playing the characters in this play.
The one thing that this story kind of makes me think about when we talk about Mr. Hoffman is I kind of liken it to, because of the fact that it's not just, oh, he's a racist or nothing, but he's just a different time. I get a little bit of comparison to Archie Bunker.
Yeah.
Because I still to this day am amazed that Carol O'Connor could play somebody like Archie Bunker and make him likable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Mr. Hoffman kind of has similarities with that.
Will, do you want to contribute anything to that?
Yeah, I don't see him as Archie Bunker. I mean, you know, he's not that flat out racist.
Right.
Or a closet racist. But you know, I can relate to the fact that he's feeling very fragile.
Mm-hmm.
All of his strength, all of his power, all of his influence has kind of been drained away over the years, and you know, he doesn't quite know where to go with it.
I really like the fragility of both characters.
Yeah.
I think that this show too. I just did another show that kind of depicts the relationship in an artistic way, but the relationship of 2 men who they won't admit we need each other, but they need each other. And they just kind of, you know, the most that I guess you really get of them admitting that they took each other in is when my character says, "So we're friends now?" But that's the most, instead of just saying, "Hey, sleep here, let's help each other," that's like kind of the most you really get of them admitting it. So I kind of, but it unfolds naturally, I think.
The 2 men, here's the old man who feels that all of his power has gone away, and the young man who is young and healthy and strong and you know, full of life. And yet, what this play shows is that they each learn something from the other. And Mr. Hoffman has the power of 80 years of life experience and 60 years of living in a marriage and understanding that. And he's a smart man. He's a smart man. He's not insensitive to the stresses of life and marriage and so on. So it's important that the flow of learning is balanced between them.
Goes both ways, yeah. And anybody else care to comment on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just following up with what Steve said, and just, you know, in defense of young people, because, you know, we always hear so much criticism, which is not fair. You know, not everybody is the same, and it's the younger person in this play that's behaving respectfully and gradually draws out the other one.
Good point. All right, and now, did the play hold your interest throughout? Did you doze or were you riveted? Yes.
It definitely held my interest. I feel like I've seen this conversation, and I mean this in as a compliment, many times between different generations. Just it's been about different topics, but that same sort of learning and pulling from each other. But I have to admit, I kept wondering what's going to happen in the end. In the end, wasn't what I thought it was good, but it was not where I was going to the negative, to be honest, and kind of thinking for the worst. But the end was just, I think, for me, it was a good ending. It just kind of, you don't know what's coming next, but you assume it's probably going to be okay.
Yeah, I was at the edge of my seat,
Yeah.
literally, and I thought, God, I hope he doesn't shoot himself. All right. Yes.
It held my interest, and I think it was because of the fragility of each character is what held my interest more than, you know, I think it's well written, but each character had their own fragility that they were in, you know, life situation they were dealing with. And I wanted to see what was going to happen. So, yeah.
I am perfectly capable, okay?
We'll just have to take your word for it.
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, enough of his fragility stuff. All right, now, here is the money question. Did you like this play enough to buy a ticket to see it?
Yes.
That's good. That's a really nice response. So anyway, do you have anything else to say before we close out the discussion?
This is
Yes.
so eminently producible,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll draw.
Yes, absolutely. All right, thank you so much for participating, not only giving your rapt attention to the play, but then making very intelligent comments afterwards. We really appreciate it, and you'll find out soon enough what we choose to produce. Thanks so much for coming today.